These statistics that were being misclassified and misreported, these particularly relate to the safety of women and children.
Absolutely, and I think this is more than just Groundhog Day. This is absolutely the worst we've seen yet. Homicide covers manslaughter, it covers murder, and it covers dangerous driving. And what we don't know now is how much misclassification went on the pull system. And what women out there don't know is if there's an abusive partner and has moved on to another relationship, what is his past and what has he done? But there's also one small point, and that is on the question of dangerous driving, because there have been hit and runs that have not been accounted for.
No, Minister, I'm not going further.
Hasn't necessarily recorded the deaths of people like Shane O'Farrell as homicide.
I don't have time to go into this to its fullest extent today, but we will be coming back to this.
Well, I'd like to quote Pat Leahy in the Irish Times when he said that when you say that, well, didn't Bertie do it as a justification, you know you're in trouble. And I think that when you look at the overall budget for communications, I think it was 180 million in 2016 was spent across all departments. It's quite shocking. Campaigns. It's a huge amount of money for a government to be spending to communicate a message. And most of it is about the future, not about the present. What about the housing crisis? What about the 7,000 people
who are in homeless accommodation? But the housing crisis, Brid, is the future. Because we're building how we are dealing. We're building houses.
It gets worse and worse all the time.
I mean, none of the opposition politicians criticised our plan. All the criticised us. You are spinning it yourself. That's the problem.
As Christy Dignam said, and he does feature in it, and he didn't mean to feature in it.
Can we move on now?
We got broke, we got rich again, and places like Finglas never saw anything different happening to them.
All right, I am going to go to the break, and if you can hear me, this is going to flatter, or is he going to tell uncomfortable truths to President Trump?
Actually, Arnie, you raised a very interesting thing, that this makes less and less sense when the US is becoming more protectionist. He's bringing in tariffs, only announced this week, on the imports of steel and aluminium. It's worrying the European Union. He's battened down the hatches. He's talking to American workers as if he's some kind of saviour of them. And this makes less and less sense for the Irish to be patronising the White House when the US is becoming more protectionist under Trump. But let me say this. We are going to have our leader shaking hands with an open racist who has also fuelled very incendiary situation in the Middle East, who's trying to oppose efforts to deal with climate change. This is a departure beyond anything we've seen before. I think if we have that much access, there's an opportunity in this for Leo. If he really wants to spin things, go over and refuse to meet him, or don't go at all. And that would get him much, much more kudos and credibility as a real new leader in the world to say, I reject racism.
I've only 30 seconds left. Chances off, Minister, and then Thomas.
And I reject your attempts to undermine climate change.
Very briefly on that.
Just those of us that know Donald Trump and have seen him
answer Brid's question,
sorry, in relation to...
Is he going to go over and
talk
to him straight about racism?